Hey guys,
See what we cool.
living on the edge. Well,
Oh,
it's okay to come in with a little bit of a X factor for the night.
well, it was an X Factor like all the time. Oh wait, yeah. So
Well, guys, this is episode 139. This is a late night after work episode,
late
and
night after work.
decided that kind of sounds good, doesn't it?
It
Late
does.
night after work.
We should start a new
Um,
show that we could both be out of
called
town for all the time.
the late night after work crowd.
Except
Well,
as we just discussed, they all go to bed.
we do. As we get older, right? The people that
Yeah, I
listen to it
don't.
with us might go to bed earlier. You
Maybe
don't though, Jordan. Are
I
you
do not.
still for a while there? You were going to bed like consistently, like 3 a.m. You still pulling those
No, no,
numbers?
no, 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 no. Like maybe 1:30.
1:30. Okay, all right. But what time would you say on average you have? Like on average, do you have to wake up?
Average
Yeah.
6:30, 6:40.
Is that what time you have to wake up, or you just your body wakes you up?
This one I have to.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And shortly after that, my body would wake me up. Unless I know, like in my head beforehand, that I can sleep in. Then my
Yeah.
body seems to be fairly cooperative and at least gets me to like 9.
I am now in a state of life that my children have woken me up so much that it's really hard for me to sleep past 7 a.m.
Yeah, it
My
changes. I know it's that stage of life. So
yeah.
it does get
I
better.
I could hopefully grow out of that. But I mean, I think about, you know, as they get older, they're going to be going to school and they're going to be doing public school soon. And so they
Hmm.
have to wake up early for that too, right? So that's going to kind of stay around for a bit.
True.
Um,
True, 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 true.
but So, well, guys, listen, we're gonna hit you off with some fun stuff starting off. We have some just some shower thoughts we're gonna share with you for the first part of the evening, and I think I'm gonna have Jordan goes first because he has one more than me.
And I did clarify shower thoughts, not TILs. So, all
Yes.
right, here we go. Without Sherlock Holmes, the search icon might be very different.
Hmm. Yeah.
Might be confusing. Might
Interesting.
be the question mark, which is now like the help spot. Like you hit that for help.
Right. Right. Yeah. It would be interesting to see. Yeah. Well, so that yeah, that's interesting. I'm curious if that is based off of like I don't know, just the entire all of the symbols that we've picked are kind of peculiar to me, actually.
Well, yeah,
Just how we
like
landed on them.
like for a long time, like well, the iPhone phone app like has the old receiver that like kids don't even see these days.
Right. Yeah, kids don't even know what that is really,
Hmm.
which is fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, the calculator is quickly becoming old. Um,
hmm
yeah, there's a few of them. So
Well, my first shower thought, kind of a depressing thought, is cows never get to drink cold milk.
they don't want it. I would assume. I'm not a cow.
We don't
I
know.
yeah, we
That's the
just
thing. We don't know.
we don't
What
we
if they
don't know.
do?
We're not cows.
We
Uh,
don't know. We're not cows.
I don't. Here's the thing. I bet most of them haven't had the opportunity, so they don't even know what they're missing.
Exactly. That's the thing. There's so many things in life that we don't realize we don't miss, right? Because we've never experienced it before. But there are things that we do miss or want that we haven't experienced before.
True.
So it's interesting how that thought process goes.
Yeah. I mean, I would assume that somebody
Um,
that's blind from birth and has never experienced sight wants sight, but they're not really sure what they want. Like they've never. I mean, think about that. You've
right.
never experienced it. Like
Or like, I would love to go in outer space, but I've never experienced it before.
true. Yeah. It doesn't change the fact that I'd still want to go to outer space.
hmm
I don't
Hit me.
know. Okay. Oh, it's me next. Sorry. I'm like stalling. People with dwarfism are less likely to have broken phone screens.
Oh, that's funny. Touche, sir. Touche, sir. That's really good. As humans colonize the solar system, they'll inevitably create HOAs wherever they go.
So true. and then they
Blah.
suck just as bad. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you want this asteroid belt and access to this? You got to pay your dues for this part of space. Yeah. James Webb Telescope, this is that new cool telescope that's like bigger, better, is the most expensive wallpaper generator in the world.
Very true. Oh my gosh. Very true. Yeah. All right. Depending d- depending on the circle you run, you may either look absolutely insane or just like a normal person out for a run. But depending on the size of the circle you run, you can either look insane or like a normal person out for a jog.
True. I wonder at what point it becomes not. Well, it's probably about a track.
Yeah, probably about a track. Yeah. So that's like a quarter of a mile, right?
We should test it where like you run the full track, but I'll stand in the middle and just run a tiny circle and see how long before someone comments. Like,
That's so funny.
I've made 10 times as many laps as he has.
I do think it'd probably be like a quarter of a track, or maybe even, yeah, maybe a quarter of a track. Or
Yeah.
no, no, no. Sorry, a track, one length of a track.
Running
Yeah,
in
a quarter
place
of a
makes
mile.
you look crazy too, unless you're on a treadmill.
Or unless you're wearing some type of like leggings. If you're wearing leggings, like jazzercise leggings, you
Running
can
in
get away with
place,
it.
but
Yeah,
there's a certain amount of time at which you become nuts.
perhaps.
And the
Yeah,
facial expression would give it away.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay,
boy,
so my last one is
hit
this.
me.
People will camp in a nylon tent amongst total strangers, but lock all their doors and windows around their neighborhood.
Very true. That's funny. Yeah, that's true. That's actually kind of terrifying.
It is, isn't it? Like, oh,
That's fascinating. Well, when we were talking about space real quick, I wanted to bring up this subject. I don't know if you saw this article, but kind of crazy. Um, there's some big chunks of space junk that have been landing in Australia lately,
that's okay.
and a lot of people think that it's actually um, Elon Musk's SpaceX junk that's landing in these areas, and they're not able to say for sure. They haven't. SpaceX hasn't claimed it, and some of it thought like, okay, maybe these are actually like reentry debris from Starlink, um, but there's this one picture of this really big piece of space debris. If you click on um, this one where you see this guy like standing behind this massive piece of space debris that like landed um in his here. I want, let me see if I can share my screen.
Okay. It's
Uh
not gonna work.
oh, it wouldn't work that way.
No,
Dang.
it would be weird. But I might be able to pull it up.
So look at the picture, open up the Twitter link.
The Twitter link.
So like click on that and then scroll down to the Twitter picture.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I was like, wait, but this is an article, right?
So click on the picture in Twitter, and then the top right picture with the guy like crossing his elbows, you can see like how tall that piece of debris is that just
Oh,
like
whoa.
flew and got
Yeah.
stuck in the ground.
Yeah, look at
Isn't
that.
that crazy? Like that thing was like a torpedo from space, dude.
That doesn't, I don't know. Doesn't look like
I
a
mean, it has some
SpaceX thing.
carbon fiber. I mean, look, it's laced with like carbon fiber around it. It looks like.
It's like it's China.
Oh,
For sure
that's
China.
classic. That's classic China fiber right there. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, they've been launching airplanes. I ain't even watching the news,
Ooh,
but
dude. Yeah, that's gonna come up.
oh
Don't
yeah.
you? You better believe it. You
Yeah.
better believe it. So, anyways, that's kind of interesting to think about space debris that size. Basically, it's probably like 10 feet tall by like 3.5 feet wide piece of space debris that like
What if
torpedoed
it's
down.
not? Like what if it's like those metal things that just showed up around the world and it was just
Oh
some
yeah,
artist trying to get
that
attention?
was really cool.
Someone's
That
like,
was
"I've
fun.
got some like lawn material
It was cool how
for
it
weeds
disappeared
and
though,
like
and it was a massive piece of metal though. I got stuck in the earth.
in like 3 spots." Yeah.
Some other fun little interesting articles I wanted to bring up before we get more serious into
Yeah.
the world politics. A man, speaking of China, oh no, sorry, this was Japan. Um, so a man in Japan sued his wife because she gave him ugly babies. So here's what happened.
It seems
He
legit.
married he married this smoke show, super attractive lady. Okay.
Yeah.
And he came to find out after they had kids that she had had significant plastic surgery before they got married, like significant alterations to her
Wow.
face. And so he was under the assumption, hey, I have an attractive wife. This is going to be good for my children, their
Yeah.
whatever, facial structure. And then his kids were born, and he's like, dang, my kids are really ugly. What is going on right now? And then he started talking to his wife more, and she's like, well, I did have this surgery and this. And then it kind of snowballed from there. And so he got mad enough. This is crazy that he she admitted to have like over 100,000 some whatever dollars worth of surgeries. So he ended
And
up
he didn't know,
divorce. He
but
ended up divorcing
I
her.
find that hard to believe that
He
he
ended up
couldn't tell.
he didn't. So he ended up divorcing her. Then he sued her for $120,000 in claims of marriage under false pretenses. And he won. The dude won. He
What?
won the $120,000. Yeah. So Japan's on another level when it comes to accountability of don't you hide
I
nothing,
wonder.
man.
Okay, so there's got to be some dude someday that's like doesn't know that it was a dude, right? You watch
Oh
the
yeah.
IT Crowd,
Yeah.
and he
Love it.
there's the lady that
Mm.
she's like, I used to be a man, and he was
Oh
like,
yeah,
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 I'm
yeah.
fine with that. And then
Yeah.
later on in the show, she's like, I can't believe you were cool with that I was a dude. And he's like, what are you talking
Yeah.
about? He's like, I thought you said I'm from Iran, and that didn't bother me.
Yeah. It's like that's cool, baby. I don't care. Yeah, that was really funny.
But that's, you've got to wonder, like, if the ugliness card works somewhere, someday,
Right. If
that's
that
gonna
doesn't
come
come out.
up. Like,
Sure. Yeah, well, in certain countries they have probably more of that type of legislative privileges, but that I would be surprised in the U.S.
yeah, the ugliness maybe didn't win here, but it's just got to win somewhere in the world for to hit the news.
It's crazy though. That was crazy that the a guy actually won.
That is wild. Yeah, yeah. It makes me surprised then that the dude that said he wasn't as old as he was didn't win his lawsuit that he identified as
I
younger.
know. Well, that was England though. England, different rules in Japan, I guess. But
True. Yeah. Yeah. Japan. Yeah. Japan's it's got some interesting things going on.
well,
So
going on to the kind of a little bit more serious, but not well, yeah, a little pretty serious.
just,
Um,
just
I have a, link I want to have you pull up my last Reddit video,
yeah.
and it is a for those of you just listening, it is a video in Xiamen, China, basically across the strait from Taiwan. And for those of you that don't know, um, Pelosi, Senator Pelosi, is that right?
I think
Or
Senator Old Leather Woman. I think that's like
is
the
that the
technical
technical term?
name. Yeah.
Well, she had, and I actually agree with this, that she went and did a tour of Taiwan in kind of show of support for the Taiwanese people, basically the government. And China had basically warned U.S. politicians if you visit Taiwan, because China sees Taiwan as part of their country, right? They don't recognize their independence. Taiwan is a democratic society, and for a communist party, that's not really appealing, right?
Yeah.
Um, so anyhow, basically this video shows probably at least 50 to 100 tanks lining up, essentially as a hey, we're ready to cross over into Taiwan kind of situation. Um, Whether that's just a simple show of force, there's been some on both on the Taiwanese side and the Chinese side. There's been a lot of military operations and practices
So
that's been
yeah,
showing right now.
I have a bit of a different take on this. So
Hmm.
for a second, like put half a tinfoil hat on for a moment because this is
Gimme.
fact, right? We all know, or we should know by now, that there's been some iffy trades that have gone on, especially coming
Hmm.
into the scamdemic and stuff. Like people, they sold all their stuff, right? Because they knew they were going to shut the country down and then
Mm.
profited off of it and whatever. And there's a Twitter accounts out there and everything that follow Nancy Pelosi's husband's dealings, but he's getting his information from somebody that knows before it happens, right? But just so happens in the last couple of weeks, they've made a large acquisition in their portfolio investing in semiconductors. And that's what
Hmm.
she went and toured. So
Oh,
so
really? Okay.
here's what I think is is likely going on is that China doesn't want to lose the manufacturing and trade that they have. And she's going there to boost and promote semiconductors doing better now that, other countries besides China, so we can get imports and yada, yada, yada. We need video cards, specifically NVIDIA is who she's done some
Hmm.
investing in and everything. And that's where a lot of their stuff comes from, is Taiwan. Well, we
Fascinating.
need more of it to sell it. We can't have these shortages. So why not encourage this, encourage trade? But what's that going to do? That's going to not only it's going to legitimize Taiwan, it's going to make her a lot of money because she just invested in this. And people are going to say, well, if they're going to start producing more, I want to buy the stock. The stock gets bought, it goes up in price. So she profits even more. At the same time, there's a bill going through to try and make it so that lawmakers are no longer allowed to individually trade and their
Right.
immediate family, which I think
Right.
is also a fake out because what we're we're we're
Well, because they're a
doing
financial investors do it for them.
right. But we no. Even then, they wouldn't be able to own them, like which would force a sell off of the people who are doing this and profiting off of this during a time when we know that we've had two now quarters of downtime and they're not addressing the fact yet that we're in a recession. They're saying, that's how we used to define it, but that's not how we define it now. Definitions are fluid. Economically, that's always how it's been. That doesn't change.
See, I
And
had heard that they could have stock portfolios in like 401ks, that type of thing,
yes, but
as long
those
as it was
are
managed by someone else.
maybe it's iffy. And there's both
Mm.
ways. So basically, the way that it's being written, it would be a mass sell off, which would mean they would, if they acknowledge in the third quarter, yeah, I guess we're in a shortage, we're in a recession.
Hmm.
And then everything begins to correct, starting with stocks all the way down to homes. And they just sold the very top. And she, right before it, she boosts her latest thing by
Oh,
going
I
to
gotcha.
Taiwan.
Right.
And then they're
Right.
like, sorry, we have to sell everything. It wasn't our fault.
Hmm. Yeah, that's fascinating.
The
I could
timing, the
see that.
timing is nuts.
I could see that. Yeah.
The
But I also could see like them benefiting from not having a tanking economy too. Like
except
if they
they want it to get boomed and sold. They want to sell. Anyway,
also, yeah, that is fascinating though. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I would be curious. The hard part is I don't know what the regulations are, right? Like,
yeah.
are they requiring them to actually sell all of their stocks, or can they just no longer invest
Well,
anymore?
so people that the way it would be written, the way that it is appearing to have been written is yes.
Hmm.
They would have to liquidate. Which is if you go to
Interesting.
say you go to a company that has that and they're a financial institution, they can choose to say as a stipulation of employment, you must liquidate. Doesn't matter what the price is, up, down, left, right, like you
Mm.
liquidate or no employment. And that's the way that it's being written. Here's the other kicker is it seems like the people are doing it are the ones that are like, yeah, we're probably going to get voted out here soon too anyway. But what this can do is it can provide a way for us to say, we had to sell and they know the top is coming in. If you go look at historical data, like we eventually have to go into a correction, and it's probably going to be a big one because it's been propped up for way long. It doesn't mean that we're not going to come back. It doesn't mean the
Mm.
world's ending, but they all want to have an excuse to all sell at the same time because if there's not an excuse there, it's going to look real bad because they did that in 2020 and it looked real bad. Um,
Interesting.
anyway,
That's
that's my
fascinating.
half tinfoil hat because
That's.
it is
I
based
don't mind a
in
little tinfoil.
it's based in like this is what's happening and it all the timelines all fit. So it's a little strange to me.
Well, on a little bit of a side note, I think it's kind of crazy how it is. 81 degrees outside, and it's 9:12.
I know. Yes.
You know what's crazy? There's surely also, side note, does my audio sound okay to you?
Sounds fine. Why?
Okay. I'm just hearing like crackling noise from anytime you speak. But sorry guys, if my audio or Jordan's audio sounds weird, just know we're doing our best.
We are doing our
um
best.
so I'm gonna see here. Oh no. Yeah, that sounded okay on my end. Okay. Jordan, show me this interesting picture you showed. I thought it was kind of fascinating
Yeah, so
of the year and decade of highest temperatures.
the reason I brought this up is I went and watched a video. I think it was last year. You and I talked about it. I don't know if we talked about it on here or not. Um, because everyone's like, "Hey, it's all getting warmer. We should be terrified." And I made the joke this week, not my own, but we have these extreme heat warnings, right? And it's been in the 90s and hundreds. And when I was a kid, that was just called summer. Um, and now we're like, "Hey, it's excessive heat. Everyone stay cool, stay safe." Like as if all of a sudden the sun's going to kill us faster than it already is trying to. Um, but what I found interesting was is this historical video showed droughts and rainfall, and we are not even like
Hmm.
it's just cyclical. Like every 25 years, everyone has one. Like it isn't like we're going back 100 years of data, right? Before cars were prevalent. But what I
Hmm.
found interesting was, and I don't know if I have this to pull up and look at. I have a different one. I have to find this one somewhere. I'll just kind of read it off because most people listen anyway. So I was shocked to find out that like our hottest record, like temperatures in Oregon. Now remember last year we had 121 in Portland in spots. Okay. But that's not the record year. Actually, this is 2019, so maybe it is. I don't think it is though. Like I think they remember them talking about how there was a recorded year that was higher than 121. What? Can you not hear me? What's going on? Hello? Did your headset die? Anyway, I'm gonna keep talking while Curtis figures this out. And the year is 1898 for Oregon. He's probably texting me now. Sit in. Folks, we're experiencing
There we go.
technical
Can you hear me?
difficulties. Yeah, I can hear you. What happened?
Oh, ho, ho, ho. So weird. Something happened, guys. I'm sorry with my something literally I think it was my driver on my computer or something. Like it literally said not it said audio services not functioning at this time.
See, Skype did that to me earlier, remember? It like muted
Weird.
me.
Oh, that
Anyway,
was wild.
we'll keep going.
Okay.
I talked some,
Um
so hopefully the
okay.
recording comes out okay. So
Okay.
what I was saying was this is from 2019. So I remember hearing during, and I could be wrong, that last year when we had our 121 degrees, that was not the hottest day on record in Oregon. But the last hottest day on record in Oregon was 1898. So I mean, you could look that up.
Yeah. I saw that. 1898, the hottest degree or hottest temperature was 100 and I'll tell you where what shoot. 119 degrees in
Okay. So
1898.
we tied it basically this last year, and they're like, "Hey, it's climate change, yada yada yada. Be scared." 1898. We had horse poop then. We didn't really have cars. Um,
Well,
and
I think what we have seen, as far as if you look at trends, what I'm looking at is they have seen it's not necessarily the overall high, the peaks and the highs, but the averages. and they've seen on this
Right.
data
It's
showing a two
average warmer
degrees.
temperatures. So
Yeah.
the argument there is that the spots that we recorded are in cities, and obviously you would see that. So
Hmm.
you'd see the averages go up as the cities grow. But if you were to say have tested that outside the city, you wouldn't have those same effects.
Maybe. I
But
don't
it's
know.
because it's negligible amount. It's not like a 40-degree difference or something like that on average. It's like 1 to 2 degrees on most. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting that a
The
lot of the
highs,
record
though, the
highs
peaks.
are not even close to like right now. I think the most recent is like Utah, and that's 1985. Um,
Ooh, what was the? Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys this. Okay, this is just kind of interesting for Oregon numbers in case people were dying to know.
yeah,
So we already said the all-time highest temperature was 119 in 1898. All-time lowest temperature was in 1993 at minus 54 degrees, which is insane.
yeah,
That's in Seneca, Oregon. I don't know where that
yeah.
is.
So some of that's gonna be like high desert stuff, not ultra shocking.
All-time highest 24-hour precipitation. So in 24 hours, almost 12 inches in
Yeah. So
Nehalem.
did you see?
That was too late. That was in 2006. That was fairly recent.
Yeah. So did you see the floods? I can't remember where it was at. They got like 7 inches in a couple hours, and it was just cities. It was I think it was India somewhere.
Oh, no, it was. I thought it was like in the Midwest.
No, it was other country.
Okay.
Um, anyway,
So, in case anybody wants to know where Nehalem, Oregon is, it's basically just west of Portland. It's right outside of Manzanita, Portland, or Rockaway Beach, which I've never been to either of those, I don't think.
I have I've been
No,
through
wait, I
them.
have.
Yeah,
Yes, I have. I have.
Nehalem.
That's right, because
Yeah, both of us have been there. Yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah.
just south of Cannon Beach. That's right. Um,
Anyway, I thought it was interesting.
that's
It's all
fascinating.
perspective, and as far as the averages
Ooh.
go, like it is. It's most if you test outside cities, you actually don't see that. It's within a margin of error. So I'm not saying we
Well,
don't need to clean things up, but
I would say it can be solved if everybody gets a Ford Lightning. We can solve a lot of issues.
yeah,
That's
except
all I'm saying.
our grid can't handle it.
I know our grid can't handle. That's why we need solar, baby. You saw
It's not
Elon
even
Musk's
that.
post.
Like the
You
solar wouldn't
see
be enough to
Elon's.
charge your
It would.
car.
No, it would. Did you see Elon Musk's post about solar power
Yes.
and how what the size, geographic size was to power like the world, the
No. But that's the
U.S.,
problem
New York?
is that our infrastructure. It doesn't matter how you power it. You can't get enough power to a neighborhood for everyone to charge their cars at their
No,
house.
not right now.
You can't. It doesn't matter where it's coming from, nuclear,
Not right
whatever.
now.
You have to.
You have to invest in it. You'd
You'd
have to
have
invest
to.
in
You'd
that.
have to build it out, and it would be insane. So
But I would say
we're not getting there. We're not
in
getting there quick.
Oregon, we all know that the infrastructure of our electrical grid needs to be redone and put underground.
Yes.
We've shown that
After
as a
last year.
blatantly obvious need.
Yeah.
So if we're going to need, and if we're doing some type of remodeling, we might as well consider
I don't.
infrastructure
I
towards
don't
that.
disagree. I just think they're trying to like artificially. I mean, like we're going through like high gas prices right now, right? They want to blame Putin, whatever. We stopped production in the States. It's obvious what the problem is. But if they really cared
China.
about people, they would just drop the taxes for the year. If they
Yeah.
like drop the
I don't know how
federal,
much the
drop the
taxes would
state,
come out down on
it's
it.
almost with this federal and state, depending on where you're at, it's between 60 cents and $1 per gallon that you're paying on taxes.
So
So
the price
the
would
next
still
thing to
be
be
higher
taxed
than what
high,
it was a
and
couple years ago. But
Washington State is already doing this, is going to be
mhm,
electric vehicles to re-register are
mhm,
somewhere
right,
between $1,500 and $2,500 a year
right.
to re-register. And so people are going to be like, then it's negligible. You're not actually saving anything. Most people now are actually coming out with numbers saying, I actually didn't save anything on gas. I bought in a more expensive car and didn't economically save myself anything.
I
You
think it
got to
depends on how
incentivize.
much you're driving.
You got to
It depends on how
incentivize
much you're
people.
driving too, and where you're driving.
Yeah, that's true. So another thing that I saw that was interesting is we've got a lot of like gun issues going on, and I don't want to talk about those. What I wanted to talk about is this brilliant human being who decided that they would gamify this system because in where was it? Houston. So it's Houston, Texas, the most liberally leaning city that they want to like get rid of because it's not Texas,
Houston?
basically. Mm.
No, Houston's not that liberal compared to Austin.
Austin's
Austin's
worse, but
way more
Houston's getting
liberal.
there. Anyway,
And Dallas is more liberal than Houston, I bet.
no. But anyway, regardless, this guy decided they're going to pay $150 to buy people's guns back. I've got a 3D printer,
Ooh.
and he decided I'm going to 3D print 62 guns and go turn them in and get $150 a pop for
No, he
these,
didn't.
calling them, and I quote, our fearless, dementia-loving commander-in-chief kind of ghost guns.
So wait, they paid did that? I wonder if that actually worked.
Oh yeah,
That's
no, that's the box from
crazy.
there. $150 a pop.
Oh my gosh, if they didn't catch on to that, like, yeah, and he comes back the next day, I found
There's other
more.
people that have done it with AR-15 lowers. They print them
Oh my
because that's the
gosh.
considered the gun, and they turn them in. Oh yeah,
Okay, how much do you think the material for those 62
each
3D printed
one
guns?
less than $1.
Really?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Is there any types of, you know, whatever wire that is expensive?
Yeah,
Not to that level though.
absolutely. But like, they didn't use that. Even if
They
they
didn't use
did,
62
say they were
bucks.
$5 a piece. That's a great business move.
It's a great business move.
Yeah.
Hey, that's free market, baby.
And it
I love it.
drains the coffers of the people trying to buy actual guns. Then I got to
Well,
thinking, if people are
I,
willing to sell these guns for $150, I bet there's some really good deals you can go get.
yeah, yeah, right. And I'd be curious what they're doing with those guns too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So on the
Well,
kind of along the same line, this came out today. This was the FBI. I think it was FBI. This one's better. This is interesting. So the FBI, this is leaked basically of their new definitions of what a domestic terrorist is. Again,
mm,
granted, this is not put out yet. This is a leaked image from them. Um, and the interesting part here is that the Betsy Ross flag. So this is the original colony's flag,
uh-huh.
nothing, and the Gadsden flag, which was flown during the Revolution, like
Right.
against the British. And there's these up here, like the warrior symbol, the Punisher skull, whatever. I just find it interesting that nowhere on here is Antifa or the BLM flag. But
What's the Antifa flag?
fist,
Fist. Okay.
yeah,
Wait, isn't the golden flag with the snake a cop
no,
flag?
that is the
Oh.
Gadsden flag that was the "Don't Tread on Me" flag that they flew during the
Oh.
Revolutionary War.
Oh.
So
Okay.
both the Betsy Ross and that one are both that. This is symbolizing the original 13 colonies because that was all
What's
that
the
was there
cop?
then,
Isn't
right?
there a police force flag that looks
They just
something?
usually they have a like a US flag with the blue line.
Oh. Okay.
So anyway, so this symbol right here, the Betsy Ross flag, not MAGA, like, by the way, I purposefully didn't get one that said Trump. But this would be considered a domestic terrorist symbol. The original 13 colonies flag.
Was the Oh, and you said that's not released yet.
No, this was a leaked one. It's legit. It just hasn't come out yet. And maybe this will push them to be like, yeah, maybe people aren't going to be accepting of this. Um,
Interesting.
Kind of weird though. I just lost the
Yeah.
pages that I had. Oh, here it is. I like zipped it to my other monitor on
I don't know
accident.
enough about flags. We need Sheldon to talk to us
Done
about
with
this.
flags. Anyway, those two
Done with flags.
specifically, they said people fly these because they're calling for revolution.
Yeah.
Like, really? I mean, they're just iconic
Well, but I
flags.
mean,
Like,
honestly, to be
also,
fair,
I would say
I think
also,
that that's one thing that's good about
yeah,
America is that you can call for a revolution.
yes,
And
exactly.
that's
It's literally in
I
our
I'm not
constitution.
I think that that's a healthy part of what was it? Who has it been? I mean, obviously like I am like a proponent of freedoms for all in a lot of ways.
Right.
But who was it? Was it Benjamin Franklin that said a healthy government or a country needs a good revolution every a healthy number of revolutions every so many years. Oh, I'm gonna look
Oh
it up
no.
right now.
That is interesting though. Anyway, they're not inherently calling for that. They're kind of a remembrance of where we came from. Like we broke away because we had no representation. It symbolizes the original 13 colonies which we formed. Um, I found it interesting. Also notable that's not on there is the Confederate flag.
Yeah, that's shocking that that's not on there. Benjamin Franklin.
Anyway, I find all that it's very interesting. It was just today, I believe, that was shown, and I found it interesting. Also, one last thing that I have, the other one I think is just what we already talked about, is that as of today, it's been released that the state of Georgia has announced that residents can claim embryos with cardiac activity as dependents on their tax returns.
Fascinating.
From July 20th,
Wait, say
2022,
that again. Say that again.
embryos with cardiac activity can be counted as
Oh, oh, okay.
dependents on
I
tax
gotcha.
returns.
I thought you were saying with cardiac like
Arrhythmia or something?
disabilities
No,
or
no, no,
like
no.
yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
No, that would be very odd.
That's a
It's
very
like
odd and
you can
specific.
claim them, but only if they're
Only
messed up.
that's a
Like,
very specific requirement. Like,
right. Yeah, yeah. No, I would be
wow.
with you. That would be even more odd and interesting to pick through.
That really doesn't make
Um,
sense. I don't get it.
yeah.
That's
So
funny.
that goes in effect July 20th, 2022 on $3,000. And now this is what's interesting. It's per embryo.
So I guess are they trying to say like implanted in the uterus embryo, or are they saying embryo that's like
It's cardiac activity embryo.
okay? So could it be in vitro?
Well, yeah, because
Like
that
could
would
it
be
be
cardiac. If it was,
no no no? Can it be in a lab?
oh, I see what you're saying. That's a good question. I didn't read that far.
Oh man, I wish I could find this quote. I know I saw something about one of our forefathers. Ah, I'll find it at some
Yeah,
point.
it
And
does
then
say that
it'll,
it looks like it has to be in utero because relevant medical records or other supporting documents must be provided or may need to be provided.
dude, guess how old Thomas Jefferson was when he wrote the Declaration of Independence?
24.
No, but it's still surprising. He was 33.
I was just going
33
off the fact that most people didn't live that.
was 40 years old when he argued Independence of America. Yeah, it's gonna eat me up. I'm gonna have to find it. I'll find it later.
Okay.
Ugh. But well, that's mostly it. Do you got any? Should we have some TILs?
I think so.
All
We've
right,
had some fun. We've tried to
we've
break
laughed,
everything.
we've
We've tried to
cried.
break your audio, my
That's
audio,
really weird. What happened?
all
That
the
was
audio. It's
yeah,
been great. Yeah.
truth, brother, truth. All right, I'll hit us off. Oh wait, how many do you got? Let me see.
I have two.
Okay, perfect. I have two.
Sweet.
Today I learned the official temperatures used in weather apps are taken in shade, not under sunlight.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Did you not know that?
Well, no, I
Okay.
didn't think about it that much, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The shade is the actual temperature.
But most of the time, people are outside. They're
I
not in the
understand,
shade. So you want to know what the
but you're
temperature is when
measuring
you're
the
not in the shade.
temperature. So think about this. We're affected because we have skin and we have sweat glands and other things going
No, I
on.
understand the effects
No, I'm
of it.
saying like we feel cold different too, but we don't measure cold as we feel it. So you
But
don't
when they
measure.
say it feels like, I'm wondering, you know how like it's
Mhm.
73, but it feels like it's 78? I
Yeah,
wonder if that's
that's
the temperature in the sun.
no. That is due to the humidity and other factors. In
No,
the
it's probably in
sun,
the sun.
like that's why your phone will shut off when it's absorbing the light and everything and it gets hotter than whatever. So yeah, there's always takes the shade. But that's why cars are often off because to get shade, they have to put that thermal sensor under something and it's typically in the mirror, and most mirrors are black, and so they get hotter. So like your car will
You
say
think they
like,
put the temperature gauge in the rearview mirror? Or are you saying in
no, no,
the
no, on the side view mirrors
side
is
mirrors?
typically
Interesting.
where that will
The
go, because
gauges are
you
in the
can't put
side
it
view
you
mirrors.
can't put it in the engine compartment because then you get the heat from the engine, right?
True.
You
True,
couldn't put it
true.
on the roof because then it's not in the shade.
You could put it under the car.
You could, but you're gonna get a lot of heat from there. Some might be there, but
Yeah.
a lot of
It's
times they're
interesting.
in that driver's side mirror, and you'll look at it and it's like says like 103, and it's definitely not 103, but it's black and
Black
absorbing
as
it.
dark, black as night.
Yeah.
All right, hit me.
So today I learned that when Yoshitaro Shibasuke,
Come again?
there's a person, I tried my best, and his team completed their 1907 ascent of Mount Tazari. They thought to be the final unclimbed mountain remaining in the Japanese archipelago. Must be the mountain range there. They found, but
Archipelago.
when they got to the top, right? 1907, they thought it was the
Mm-hmm.
final one and they were the first ones to do it.
Love
They
it.
got to the top. They found an ancient sword at the summit that was later determined to have been left there more than 1,000 years earlier.
No. That's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
I know, that's kind of cooler than being the first person. You just come down, you're like, well, we weren't the first people,
Well, we found
but look what I
something.
got.
This is awkward.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. All right, my last TIL, guys. Today I learned that there are chickens called Easter eggers. They can lay blue, green, cream, olive, or pink eggs. One egg color per chicken, though.
Yeah.
But different Easter egg or chickens can lay different color eggs. I knew there was like different color of eggs, but I never knew that they were called Easter eggers.
Yeah, that's probably a slang term or something. There are different breeds of chickens, and a lot of times people mix them so that all their eggs come out colorful and whatnot. And
Right.
some of them have like a way deeper colored yolk, and they're a lot more fatty and better for you. Some of
Yummy.
them are speckled even. It looks weird,
Yeah, I don't
but
trust any
cool.
speckled ones. I don't trust that.
They have like rabies or something.
Yep.
Today I learned at a 1915 auction, Cecil Chubb, that's an unfortunate last name,
Love the name.
he bought Stonehenge as a gift for his wife, but she hated it because she had sent him to buy a set of chairs. So let's stop there for a second. Have you ever been sent to the store for something
Oh my
and come
gosh.
back with land?
Hmm.
Like you like, I bought this for you, and she's like, I wanted chairs. Anyway,
Now I know you wanted chairs, but hear me out.
3 years later, he gave it to his country on the conditions that the entrance fee would never cost more than a shilling and the locals could have free access.
Whoa, very cool. I love that he costs the price of that to be so low
Yeah,
forever. I don't know what a shilling equates to
I don't
now,
either.
but I
Okay, but
love
let's just go back to
that.
she sent him to buy a set of chairs, and he thought these rocks are kind of shaped like chairs.
These rocks could do.
I bet
These, he looked at him and he thought, you know what?
I bet
That'll do.
she'd like this instead.
That's so funny. I love it. Good man right there. Good man.
Can you
All
imagine
right,
coming home?
guys.
She's like, "Where are the chairs?" You're like, "Come with me.
Close your eyes.
We're going on a trip.
That's beautiful.
I bought an ancient sundial for you instead. Is that cool?
So
Like,
you like rocks, right?
how much do you like rocks?
So fun.
Do you like stacked rocks?
I got lots of rocks.
Oh gosh,
Oh man.
it's
All right,
good.
guys. Well, thanks for doing a late night podcast with us. If you're listening to us at another time, thanks for listening to us at all. We appreciate you. We hope you have a fantastic week and stay classy out there. Stay safe. Stay cool. We'll catch up with you soon.
In just, I can't do it here. I was trying to do something. Well, we'll just hope this works. I didn't check the audio for the outro, so we're
Eh,
gonna hope that it works okay. And we love you all.
love y'all.
See ya.
Bye.